The world of professional wrestling. It is an amazing display of sports, drama, and theatrics. For years, the world of wrestling is a nice mixture of Shakespeare and war, and it has been compared to films. Now, today's film isn't the first wrestling movie, and it won't be the last. I am Loki Jesse, and I am here to review Dark Match from 2024. And the gentlemen from Amazing Pro Wrestling have allowed me to record here outside of the ring. So let's get this started. Welcome back to Troglodyte Horror and Cult Film Review. I am Loki Jesse, and today's film is set in the 1980s, a small wrestling promotion that goes by the name of SAW, which stands for Stars of Amateur Wrestling. Now, back in the 80s, the good guys would always win against the bad guys. But in the world of professional wrestling, the good guy has the crap beat out of him so many times until he makes his triumphant comeback and good prevails over evil. Yeah, this film doesn't really do that. So let's get to the summary of the film. They're doing a good job. Okay, So the film begins in the locker room where we see yet. Okay, so. So our film begins in the locker room where we see Nikki, who is one of the stars of Saw. She goes by the ring name of, okay, get this, Ms. Behave. Yeah, it's the 80s. Wrestlers had so many weird names back in the 80s. But Ms. Behave is waiting patiently and focusing to get ready for her match against her rival, Kate the Great. Again, it's the 80s. So she gets into the ring with Kate, and Kate is basically ecstatic because there is a scout out there from the big leagues, and she knows this is her chance to break out. And she asks Miss Behave if she could, put on a great performance so that way she can get noticed. Now, Miss Behave kind of takes offense to that because she feels that she is better than Kate. And the match goes back and forth. And Kate ends up winning, but Nikki or Miss Behave kind of gets a little upset. So she sucker punches Kate and breaks her nose. When that happens after the match, at the end of the night's events, her pay gets stalked by the promoter, Rusty, and tells her basically if she does that again, she could ruin Kate's chances to make it into the big leagues. However, Miss Behave believes that she can also be in the big leagues, and she just wants to get that chance to carry the company and win the belt. However, Rusty tells her, no, it's not going to happen. It's not your time. It's Kate's time. You're just not cut off for it. And if it happens again, she's going to lose her job, which it's a terrible thing to do. I mean, when you go into business into your own hands. So then later that night, Kate seeks solace in her on again, off again partner, fellow wrestler who goes by the name of Mean Joe Lean. And they're getting intimate, they're having some fun until Joe gets distracted by the TV, because on the TV he hears an old promo of his back in his younger days, and on the TV screen he sees that they're showing one of his classic matches against his oldest opponent, his rival, the Prophet. and he gets distracted, which causes Nikki to get a little upset. Later on that night, in Rusty's office, while he's enjoying some party favors, he gets a phone call from a mysterious person who offers him a chance to have a one night event at their town. Rusty gives him an exaggerated amount of a price, and the caller agrees to the price, which is amazing. So he finishes up his nose candy and starts calling the wrestlers. The next day, all the wrestlers gather to travel from their town to this mysterious place where they're gonna have this one night event of a dark match. Now, dark match in wrestling terms means it's not gonna be televised. It's only for the crowd to see. No cameras, no TV, no nothing. So they're traveling down the road to this place, and they get there, and they are greeted by, okay, it's not really a town, it's like a compound. It's a compound out in the middle of nowhere. They are greeted by Carol Ann. She takes them inside, and everybody there is celebrating the night before the event, and everybody's drinking and eating a lot of stuff on YouTube. They're eating lots and lots of candy. I'll say it like that. When I'm talking about candy. So anyway, Joe tries to get affectionate with Nikki in public, but Nikki ain't having that because like she doesn't want to draw attention. And she walks away from Joe. Joe gets his drink and something is slipped in his drink. While the wrestlers are partying, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he makes his presence known, the leader of the group. And this is not just a local group, it is a small cult, it is a large cult. And their leader is the prophet. And Joe recognizes him and he tries to warn Rusty, but Rusty is too involved with the ladies to notice or even listen to Joe's warning. So then Joe and Rusty get separated. Joe tries to find Nikki, but Nikki is with Kate and one of the group members, the Caroline, and they are enjoying some wacky tobacco. While that is happening, Joe gets seduced by one of the females, and also in a separate room, Rusty is also seduced by one of the females. Well, by two of the females. But he gets branded with the symbol of the cult on his chest. The next day, Nikki wakes up from having some strange, weird, crazy nightmares. She goes to talk to Joe about it, but then he finds the woman in his bed and she walks out in disgust and disappointment. When she goes to eat breakfast with all the other wrestlers, well, that's when Rusty starts to sit with them and talk to them. But he's not there to warn them. And even before he can say anything, he gets pulled away by one of the cult members so that way they can discuss business. And so they're just there left to their own devices. Next thing you know, the wrestlers go to where the ring is set up. And it looks kind of like it's not small, but it's kind of like eerie. And then they notice the poster that shows the night's events. And almost all the matches are gimmick matches. Now, gimmick matches in the wrestling world are matches that have a stipulation or a strange meaning. Not meaning, but like there's a type of tone. Now, these gimmick matches that are being presented to the Saw wrestlers, they are based on the elements, the four elements, which is wind, water, earth, and fire. But here it's referred to as inferno. And then the final match, it's a spirit match, which a spirit is not really an element. So there's some crazy stuff going on here. So that's enough of a setup that I'm gonna do right now. I just want to leave just enough of a breadcrumbs to get you interested in this film. I'm gonna get into my review right now in a bit, but before I get to that, we're gonna have some appetizers. And is some here are some interviews I did with the wrestlers of Amazing Pro Wrestling. Enjoy. I am Loki Jesse, and I'm here at Amazing Pro Wrestling with.
Amazing Rude.
Xavier Rexton.
Elm Street.
Sapphira.
Thanks, guys, for being part of the show. Well, for being part of the show. I hope I don't disturb you all, and I hope you all don't. So, tell me, how long have you all been in the business?
I've been in wrestling for 14 years.
5 months and getting better.
5 months and barely getting started.
5 months as well.
5 months. Wow. So you all are still green, and you're the pro, not pro, the veteran.
Yeah.
Veteran. Yeah. Man, it's like I watched wrestling so long for so much that I'm so starstruck right now by you guys that I forgetting the what to say. It happens, man. But what got you all into the business?
Man, I started watching wrestling since I was a little boy. Started watching AAA. My favorites were El Santo and Máscara Sagrada. Eventually, I would get a little bit older, discover the WWE, and my favorite wrestler of all time is Edge.
Nice. You, sir?
Me, I started around 3 years old. I loved wrestling since I was a kid. I could name every wrestler's theme song as a baby. Randy Orton, John Cena, Batista. Every theme song that came on, I already knew exactly who it was. And I would even practice the moves on a dummy that I had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, what a dummy. And you, sir?
I started watching wrestling when I was 6 years old. I remember when I was 9 years old, I used to wrestle with my dad on the trampoline. And then that's when my dad introduced me to WWE. My dad introduced me here, and now I'm here.
Wait, so you wrestled your dad?
Yep.
Wow, like boy, I'm so blank that I don't even know what to say now. And you, madam?
Honestly, I barely started watching wrestling, so I'm trying it out, and so far I'm liking it.
Did you wrestle your dad or your mother?
None of them.
No, 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 no. I thought that was pretty interesting. So my next question is, what is your wrestling move, or what is your finisher? To say it like that. Do you have a finisher?
Yes, I usually use the spear or the crossface.
Ooh, the crossface.
Spear, powerbomb, or moonsault.
Oh, so then you use your spear. Do y'all have to ask each other permission to use that move, or y'all just like have a mutual like understanding?
Yeah, just it's a mutual thing. Since I'm his trainer, I allow him to use it.
So, being that this is a movie show, movie channel on YouTube, and like Hobber is our main theme. But since my review for today's film is Dark Match, it's a wrestling movie. What are some of your favorite wrestling movies that are not horror related, but they could be comedy or whatever? Like, what comes to mind when you think of a wrestling movie?
Oh, I love Nacho Libre. That's my favorite. I love comedy. Jack Black is a great actor on that movie, so I really like Nacho Libre. I also like The Wrestler, and there's been a few shows on Netflix, Atrás de las Cuerdas or something like that. Also a great wrestling show.
Nice, nice. The wrestler was Mickey Rourke. Do you
Mm.
think Jericho would have taken him out if he did agree to be on the WrestleMania of that year?
Of course, I'm a big Chris Jericho fan. Jericho would have taken him out. in a
Hell
heartbeat.
yeah, that champion.
Yeah, yeah.
And you, sir? Wrestling movie?
Mine, I would say one of my favorites is Nacho Libre for sure. Grew up watching that as a kid over and over again. Never gets old. But I do enjoy the Iron Claw. That one is like behind the scenes of what goes on, and not everything is as good as it seems. Everyone struggles. Even wrestlers themselves struggle in everyday lives. Just trying to fit in and be normal, just like everyone else.
Yeah, that was with the Karen the Von Erich stories and stuff. Man, like I can't. Yeah, they went through so much. I didn't. I was watching the back when the WWE had the network with the WCC like True Story and stuff, where they were talking about the Von Erichs. That's where when I found out that Kevin didn't have a leg, but he hit it so well.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Well, not crazy, but like wow, this is crazy. And you at the conventions that I've gone through, I've seen almost like a lot of people have cosplay as Natsu Libre or his partner,
Yeah.
and it's just like, you know what? I'm surprised. I'm pretty sure out there because I did see like a cosplay of Venom and Art the Clown together. So I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna come up with an Art the Clown Natsu Libre crossover
Yeah.
on there.
I unmasked a local Nacho Libre. I unmasked him.
Really?
About a year and a half ago, yeah.
And was he ugly or was he a handsome boy?
No, he's very ugly.
Ugly, yeah. And what is your favorite? Since again, being a horror podcast, it's Halloween time. What is your favorite scary movie?
I'm old school. I love Freddy versus Jason, the Chucky movies, See No Evil with Kane, uh, those kind of movies. Yeah.
Have you heard? Because I this is a review that's going to come out real soon that I recorded. Have you ever heard The Grudge versus The Ring?
Uh, I might have. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, it came out just recently in 2017. They had Sadiko fight Kariko.
Oh,
So it was
I
a
think I
it's
heard
a
of it.
pretty interesting take, because like over there in Japan, aside from Godzilla,
Mhm.
like The Ring and The Grudge, it's like they're Freddy and Jason.
Okay.
So what about you, sir? What's your favorite horror movie?
Ghostface, Scream. I
Scream?
gotta love it. I love Ghostface.
That should have been telling being that you have a skull for a mask or a ghost. So which of the Screams is your favorite?
Two.
Two?
Yeah, the plot twist on that one was good. The plot twist, it being the mother of Billy Loomis, and I have a whole collection of Ghostface masks. You can ask them; they've seen it.
Nice. Another good thing about that film was it had like a very young Timothy Orton or
Yeah,
Alton.
Elephant. Timothy Elephant, I believe.
Yeah.
But he was my favorite killer. Well, the whole franchise of Scream, him, Mickey.
Yeah, because he just like totally like nailed the psychotic part. And on Netflix's Santa Rita Clarita Diet,
Yeah.
like he was like the husband trying to keep it together, but the anxiety, the way he would act, it was just like it just reminded me of like him from Scream 2.
Yeah, he did a really good job playing a psycho.
Yeah, he does. It's always the psychos that play good psychos.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for letting me do this small interview and being here in your arena. Do y'all when is your next event coming up?
This coming Friday, October 25th, at House Landing Restaurant and Bar. We are going to be celebrating 8 years of APW, Amazing Pro Wrestling. So make sure to join us. We're going to celebrate.
Okay, and I also saw that y'all might bring it's y'all are gonna bring a legend down also sometime in November.
Yes. November 30th, we're bringing some of ex WWE superstars and legends, people like TJ Perkins, Nixon Noel, Eva Lise from Lucha Underground, Gangrel, which is from the Attitude Era back in the day, Sean Hernandez, and many more.
That's awesome. I can't wait to go next weekend to go to that one with Gangrel, because he's a like growing up in the 80s with the Attitude Era and just like the vampire image and stuff, and then he's just awesome. He's an awesome guy, and plus he literally got like his teeth like fanged up, like sharpened to fangs. He really lived the gimmick.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you again so much, guys, for being part of this. I'll let you get back to your business. Please don't hurt me. Yeah, no problems. Well, no, well, especially from that one over there, because he took on his dad, and if you could take on your dad, you run to the hills. All right, guys. So thank you so much. I'll let y'all get back to your business. I'm Loki Jesse, and I'm here at Amazing Pro Wrestling. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed those interviews. Let me just say, I'm going to fire that cameraman because the shot wasn't good. But anyway, let's get on to the review. So, the film story is very tight and it's well paced. Once the film begins, it gets off the bat. It doesn't stop. We are introduced to each character, and each character is allowed to breathe, and we get to know all the characters pretty well. Now, the characters are pretty relatable, at least to me they were. Joe, who is played by Stephen Org, who some might remember or recognize him in some episodes of The Walking Dead. Now, he plays Mean Joe Lee. Mean Joe Lee. Now, the director has said that he got the name not from Mean Gene Okerlund, no. He got the name because when he heard the song Jolene, he thought that it was about a man named Jolene, not Jolene. If you know, you know. So, but anyway, the character is very fun, very nice, and I find him somewhat relatable in a sense. Now, he is a wrestler whose best days are behind him, but he still stays in the business because he loves it, and he loves Nikki. He wants to be with Nikki. However, Nikki doesn't really want to be with him or move the relationship more further than what it is, which is a casual fling to her. Now, Nikki, who was played by Aisha Asid Asha, I hope I said that right. I probably butchered her name. But Nikki is played by Anisha Asha, who is a stunt woman who did most of her stunts. Basically, in the world of wrestling, there is no stunt doubles. You gotta work, unless you know. But when it comes to films, you do need a stunt double. So I don't know how that worked, but still, she brings a lot of gravitas to her character. Somebody that wants to break off, and show that she is committed to this, to the mats, to the company. She just needs that chance. Now, let's see. Okay, Rusty. Rusty is just shady as F. And he is portrayed by Jonathan Cherry. Now, Rusty is that character that everyone has in their life. He is that one shady character that always does is up to no good, but he always surprises you, and not only surprises you, but he always pulls through. And when he does something good, it makes you wonder, why do you have this person in your life, and should you have this person in your life? But I gotta say, the most standout character of this film has to be the Prophet, who is played by Chris Jericho. Now, Jericho is a pro wrestler. He is the champion. He has been in the big promotions: AEW, WWE, WCW. He has so many accolades. And this isn't his first foray into acting, but he does the job pretty well. I mean, his menacing monotone voice is very scary. And also, his character appears slowly, like he works in the shadows, and then slowly by slowly, as the film progresses, he comes out of the shadows. And Jericho knows how to talk. He knows how to set the tone, and he's able to manipulate the crowd. And he is just able to manipulate the crowd and turn them into his followers. Nah. He is also able to show just enough emotion but pull back and then be cold and demeaning. He is very, I mean, like he seems like a fun guy, but in this film, he is very menacing and scary. And that's the best thing about this film. What can I say? Jericho is able to do it well. The film was directed by Canadian director Lowell Dean, who some of you might know him from his film Wolf Cop and the sequel Another Wolf Cop. Now, Dean wasn't a fan of wrestling. It wasn't until he went to a wrestling match that he fell in love with the sport. And it was during those matches and those shows that he noticed how the crowd cheering and the atmosphere gave him this cult like feeling. And within that feeling, he developed this story. And he was able to make a horror film out of this, with wrestling being in the backdrop. And he was also able to film the wrestling matches in an abandoned auction house. Now, this was done pretty well because it gave it that nice, small crowd, intimate feeling, but also gave it this creepy underground feeling. And especially when the film gets to the part where they're working in the compound, all the wrestlers, especially Nikki, feels very unsettling and scared about this situation. So I gotta give props to the director Dean. He did a good job and also did the story well. And he respected the sport of wrestling. With all that being said, what do I rate this film? Because this is a wrestling film, I decided to rate this with Luchador Mask. So, five being the best and one being the lowest, I'm going to give this film four Luchador Mask. Now, why doesn't it make it to five? Well, even though the film was great and I enjoyed it, I still would have wished there was a little bit more blood and gore. Now, that wasn't the main focus of this film, but still, it was pretty well done, I gotta say. So this film is a great watch. I highly recommend it. Now, have you seen Dark Match? Did you like this film? Did you dislike this film? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree with it? Did I get something wrong? Did I not understand this film? Please leave your comments. Keep it classy and let's discuss Dark Match. But let me just say thank you everybody for watching. If you want to support the channel, please join Patreon. For a dollar, you get early access to video and podcast episodes. You also get your name in the show credits. Plus, you get to listen to all of the early episodes when the show was a podcast and it was just beginning. Thank you everybody for watching. Again, please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments, tell me what you think. Remember to always keep on shining.